Hey guys, welcome back to the Crazy Cozy Corner. I'm Brianna, and this is the Crazy Cozy Corner. I forgot to film an intro, so welcome. This is our A to Z challenge video for the month for books K and L. Okay, I know I mentioned I was going to read this for this video in the TBR video that I was supposed to read this in. I don't know how I feel. Actually, I know how I feel, and that's what's going to make it rough to finish this book. So, for our K book this month, we are reading A Kiss in Time. And, like, for books that have A or the or whatever, I'm not counting that as the first letter, but because it's just... Anyways, so this is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, and I am currently, how many pages? 110 pages in, and I hate it here. I hate it here. I thought this would be like a fun little cutesy read. When I tell you, I do not like it. I am not playing. So Sleeping Beauty is already a pretty shady story. If you go back to, like, I mean, even the Disney version, like, who goes and kisses a corpse or someone that's sleeping that they don't know? I know who. Not great people. If you're one of those, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm passing judgment. I'm sorry. I am sorry about passing judgment. So, like, but if you even go back to the original Sleeping Beauty, we don't care about consent in that story, if you get what I mean. If you haven't had your ears cursed with that knowledge, please don't go look it up, or do, and join me in already, like, not feeling great about Sleeping Beauty, okay? But this is not the first Sleeping Beauty retelling I've read. I read one by T. Kingfisher or whatever, and a thorn hedge of thorns, something like that. And yes, that's not the one I'm talking about though. That one was good. Thorn Hedge, I'm pretty sure. But there was another one, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was like, there was like alternate universes of Sleeping Beauties. I am rambling because I don't want to talk about this book. Okay. So we start with Talia, and she's our Sleeping Beauty equivalent, and she's been cursed, you know, as all Sleeping Beauties are. And on the eve of her 16th birthday, she pricks her finger on a spindle. But, like, let me tell you, her parents were irresponsible. They didn't even tell her what a spindle looked like. So when she saw one, she didn't know that it was what it was until it was too late. And so, like, her parents being mad at her, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, they gotta create conflict somehow. But then we jump point of views to Jack, who is in the modern world. And he was sent to Europe, and his friend was sent to Europe to kind of explore with a guide, of course. And he gets bored and convinces his friend, let's go to the beach. Well, of course, because they're teenage boys, they don't know where they're going, so they ask for directions. But of course they have to insult the entire country while they're at it. And so the person understands them, because most people, I mean that's generalizing, but a lot of people that don't, and people in America too, but like a lot of other schools and stuff in other countries than the one that I'm currently in teach from a young age a second language or something like that. And so a lot of people might understand English, you know, just maybe. Or maybe I'm being super ignorant. If I am, let me know. But the guy understands everything that they said and, you know, sends them to the beach. And I'm like, good for that concierge or whatever he was. I don't remember. I don't want to remember much about this book. But so they get sent on this kind of wild goose chase, and they get lost, and they come across this thorn, like hedge of thorns, right? And so for some reason they just go through it. Why? Like there was no like reason other than they just did. There was nothing like pushing them forward, like, you know, their phone got taken by a rodent and the rodent ran in or whatever, you know. It just didn't make any sense. And so they go around and they see all these sleeping people, and like Travis, Jack's friend, wants to go back, and Jack's like, oh, I want to look at. I'm sorry, I really do not. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. And so like Travis follows along, and they find the castle, and they're exploring, and they find the room where the princess is. And that's like where like my problem really begins, I think, was because of how they talked about it. Like let me find it for you. So Travis says, come on, I dare you to touch her. And the next it's like, okay, and then this is not dialogue, it's just his inner thoughts. I want to anyway. I lean toward her, wishing she'd wake up. And then, like, going through, he touches her hair, and Travis is like, not her hair, Dorco. She can't even feel her hair. She can't feel anything. She's asleep like the rest of them. So why not touch an important part? Like, I know it doesn't have to be interpreted bad, but like, that's all I can say. Really? Like, can't you be like specific, or like poke her face or whatever like that? But like this and then he's like, in his like dialogue, he's like, I want to kiss her. It's like, I've never, maybe this is a unique experience for me, but I've never looked at someone sleeping and been like, yeah, I want to kiss them. You know, maybe my dog, but she's my dog, not a person. Anyways, and just, it's not necessarily like, it's just stuff like that. And anyways, back to this, I'm not that far in, and I wish I had never picked this book up. And that's really harsh. I will finish this because I'm determined that I will have a K-book. And like, I have other books to choose from, but they're a lot more, they require a lot more of my brain than this does. And so I'm hoping that after we like jump this hill of him being a creep and his friend being a creep, in my opinion, and I guess it's all about interpretation, right? It probably wasn't meant, hopefully, to be like that, and it's just like dudes being dudes, like, oh, touch the bug kind of thing. I don't know. Obviously, I don't hang out with a lot of dudes, but yeah, maybe I'll come back when I remember less. But I will see you in the next clip, and hopefully, unless something entertaining happens or like exciting, it will be the end of the book, and that will be exciting. And we can talk about the next book we're gonna read. I'm gonna try to find another L book because I really don't think I want to read Light Lark, but we'll see. The things I do for you guys. I finished A Kiss in Time, and honestly, I didn't even know that I enjoyed any part of it until I watched back my TBR tackle when I was editing it, and it made me laugh in the first few chapters when it was in Talia's point of view, but like the book went downhill when we got Jack's point of view. I think that's his name, right? It doesn't matter. Yeah. I did not like this book. I finished it because I love you guys and I wanted to make sure that we're doing this challenge together. But I'm gonna tell you, this was a hard book to read. Like, there was misogyny. It was just, it gave me icky feelings. Like, instant love doesn't bother me usually. It depends. Like, in this instance, it bothered me. Like, these children knew each other maybe 3 days before deciding that they were in love, and I was like, at least they kind of, it worked out in the end. But like, it felt so icky. Like, there was like good things, like Jack finally, you know, working it out with his parents and understanding that they love him and actually like care about him and stuff like that. But like, there was just a lot of stuff that I would not recommend this. I think I gave this a 1 star. It's better than the book that shall not be named that I DNF'd, but like, I would have DNF'd this book if I did not love you guys. So there's that. So that was A Kiss in Time by Alex Flinn. It is definitely going to be rehomed. Not with me, because maybe it's just not my cup of tea. But what I'm gonna read, I found a way out of reading Light Arc. I'm gonna read Life and Death, which is basically the gender bent version of Twilight. The words are really close together and there's lots on a page, so this looks like kind of, I mean, it's basically it's Twilight from like the same kind of point of view, right? So we'll see. I'm gonna check it out and I'll tell you if I have any updates. So basically, Life and Death is a gender bent Twilight, which, I mean, literally what it says it is. Nothing super crazy. Bo is a little bit different, but Stephenie like flat out addresses that, like in like the prelude or whatever comes before like the actual story. She addresses that he developed differently and so did Edith. And so like, it's been interesting to see how they fell in love, or how like how they fell in obsession. But I'm enjoying my time. I picked it up today and I'm about halfway through. I'm hoping to finish and get this edited and uploaded for you by Thursday instead of being late. But I'm enjoying reading rather than dreading it. Like, even if this book has brought like some growth opportunities, like, it's like you can learn a lot of things from books, but like, it's brought some growth opportunities to my forefront of my brain, because I didn't realize how like the inner misogyny I might have had. Like, I mean, I have, and something I obviously need to work on. But I was having a hard time believing that believing that Edith was a I don't know, not a believable character. And it's not that I don't read books or read manga. I can't speak. I was gonna manga and anime. It's not like I don't watch or read stuff with like super strong physically female characters. There's just something a bit different about the dynamic between Bo and Edith, and it's not typically what I read. And so it's just interesting to see like how I judged it. And so like that, who knew that Life and Death, the gender bent version of Twilight, was gonna make me do some like inner thinking and inner work. But yeah, like I said, I don't hate it. I've been less critical of it compared to how I usually am of Twilight, but I mean, be like that. So maybe another update before I finish the book. I might also just see you when I finish the book. So I finished Life and Death, and I'm gonna spoiler warning for the end of the book here.
But I am not ashamed to say that it's made me feel pretty emotional. I was not expecting that, but Stephenie decided to change the ending of the book, and I think for the story of Bo and Edith, it was good to have a different ending, because they, like, while based on the same characters, they are different characters and different people, and so, like, just, like, you know, there's gonna be, like, lots to work through, like, but it's sad, because in Twilight, it pretty much is like the perfect ending. I mean, for the most part, like, she still gets to be around her family, and, like, she's still gonna have to watch them die, but, like, she can still be in their life for a little bit longer than just an abrupt like leaving, you know. But this was, like, good and bad, because, you know, they didn't go through the back and forth of, like, wanting to be a vampire and then, like, Edith wanting to save his soul and everything, but, like, it was still sad because he doesn't get to have any of the relationships that Bella got to keep. So, and the last words he said to his dad, like, that's gonna live with his dad for the rest of his human life, and it's just, like, it's sad. And then you, like, it makes me, like, you know, think about the last things that we say to people. Like, you never know if it's gonna be your last moment. And then, like, in the book, like, Bo probably knew, kind of like Bella, kind of knew that her life was in danger and his life was in danger. It's just, like, makes me philosophical, something like that. Makes me feel like that. And so I can tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed this retelling, especially as towards the ending it kind of changed. It was just nice it was cool to see. Now, are they both still super toxic? Yeah. It didn't seem as pronounced, but maybe it's, like, some kind of bias, because I don't know. It was different. It was different, but the same. And again, it's my first read through on it, so it might be me just blowing smoke, but I really enjoyed it. If I ever reread it again, I'm sure I'd go off on it like I go off on Twilight, but it's cool because everything else is open to interpretation. Like, it's not gonna follow Bella and Edward's story any longer, because the vampire-ish stuff has already happened. They're both vampires, so they're just gonna, you know, learn to live their life. It'll be fun because their story's not gonna follow Bella and Edward's any longer. There'll be no, like, big fight with the Volturi, maybe. Victoria's gonna have to Victor in this is gonna have to figure out a different way to get revenge for her mate being killed. And there's gonna be no rotisserie chicken. There will be no children being born, unless, like, somehow there's some magical spermie. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm glad I enjoyed this book better than the K book. But yeah, that is it for this month. Thank you so much for watching this challenge video on our K and L books. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe my slow descent into madness you enjoyed. I don't know. But thanks for watching, and like, subscribe, share, ring the notification bell. Did I say comment? Comment. Tell me which book you would find yourself reading if you were going to read either A Kiss in Time or Life and Death. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next. Bye.